Okay, so with the bore scope, this is the Ebonite one. I'm just having a look at the outside with it because you can see how nice and shiny and well finished it is. And then we're going to go into the bore. So we've got the tone holes at the top there with light coming through them. You can get some idea of how rough this bore is. The focal length of the scope is a bit of a problem here. But if I go down the far end to where there's more light coming in, you can see as we go past just how when we get down the end there, and this rather weird big flare counterbore at the foot end. There's the join between the two. That's where the joint between the foot and the body is. But yeah, just how grainy and rough the internal finish here is. That's the Ebonite one. Now the Rosewood one. Same basic thing. And the general texture. I mean, some of that is grain and fair enough, but I mean, look at those furry bits on the roughness there in that counterbore at the foot end, and yeah, not exactly. That's the transition from foot to body, and then tone holes coming along there. Reasonably cleanly done into the bore. Yeah, on the rough side. And the Olivewood one, oh, that's the external finish of the Rosewood. If the wood can be got up to that finish, or the Delrin, why not? And here's the Olivewood one, which is really nicely finished on the outside. But in we go, and you can see that's not exactly finished to the same standard as the outside. I'll try and take some photos down the board as well, because what you're not seeing in this is the reamer marks. So there we go, all the way to the foot end, and there's again this great big conical counterbore at the foot end. There we are. The tone holes fairly cleanly done. But the bore could do with significantly better finishing than it has, given the proven potential finish of the wood on the outside. This is just another look at the bore of the Delrin one, with just daylight coming from the window in the end of the bore. I think rather than using the camera's own light, this shows the roughness and scarring from the reamer, and the fact that it hasn't been refinished in any way. Rather better. There's lots of tear out from the reamer and yeah, that gives you some idea of the roughness. That really needs to be smoothed out. Considerably. To be fair, the wooden ones aren't as bad, but they're not smooth. This is a look into the bore of the Olivewood one, just direct from the phonecam. I'm not using the bore probe camera, but you can see the roughness there as I managed to get it focus in different places, just getting daylight from the window through it. It's certainly nowhere near the nice glossy polish of the exterior, and it certainly ought to be. And if I go for the Rosewood one, to focus in there. There we go. Some of what you're seeing there is the grain, but you can also see roughness that's not just the grain, and there are rough patches opposite the tone holes as well. Got the tone holes at the top here, and there are these rougher patches on the bottom. It's not so obvious in this, but anyway, this one's perhaps the least rough of the three bores, but it's not nice and smooth and shiny like what it ought to be. And here's the Delrin one, which is the worst by far. You can see right from the near end, and then as I move the camera in and get it to focus further down, and on this you can see quite clearly the rough patches opposite the tone holes, where presumably, you know, tooling whilst working on the tone holes has impacted the bore opposite. But yeah, so there are general rough patches as well, which must be from irregularities in the reamer, and again, no comparable finishing to the exterior. And this is the foot of the Delrin one, where again you can see the scratchy, slightly torn finish in the bore at this end, where the reamer is chattered in the bore, and then tone hole at the top, and opposite it a dark ring. If I go from the other end, again the tone holes are at the top, and there are these, there we go, dark rings, scars opposite them, as well as the general roughness. So yeah, there's a fair bit of improvement possible there.